Life is a continuous struggle for survival. People adapt to different situations in their own ways. And today, we bring you the inspiring story of life on a remote Char. Welcome, dear friends, to a small and isolated village called Afsar Patander Dangi, located on the distant Kabarpur Char in Faridpur district. This village lies within the North Channel Union under Kotwali Thana. Today, we will take you on a journey to show you how people survive here and share their remarkable stories of endurance and perseverance. The river changes its course unpredictably, shaping and breaking the lives of Char dwellers. Many families lose their homes to erosion and are left with no choice but to move from one Char to another, searching desperately for a place to rebuild their lives and find stability once again. About a year and a half ago, several families came to settle in this remote Char, hoping for a fresh start. However, life here is incredibly tough. One such resident is a father who has married off 7 of his 8 daughters. Now, he lives in this harsh environment with his disabled daughter, doing his best to take care of her despite the many difficulties he faces.
আগে কোথায় ছিলেন কাকা? সেলিমপুর ছিলেন।
He used to live in Selempur, but now he has moved here.
আসার কারণ
The river took away his house, his land, everything he had. The place where he once had his home is now lost beneath the river. He has been here for about 12 to 15 days now.
15 দিন হবে এখানে এসেছেন। এই জায়গায় কি শনকরা হিসেবে আছেন?
Currently, he is staying on leased land.
গবাদি পশু পালন করছেন না কৃষি কাজও করার চিন্তা ভাবনা?
He is raising cattle and plans to start farming in the future. But with his land swallowed by the river, he is unsure how he will manage. He has already lost his home to river erosion 15 to 16 times. Every time he settles in one place, the river takes it away, forcing him to move and rebuild elsewhere. But even the new place never lasts long. His entire life has become a cycle of moving from one riverbank to another, always searching for stability. Right now, he is building a cow shed. He hasn't started on his living quarters yet because he doesn't know if it will last. He has built homes before, only to watch them disappear into the river. For now, his priority is shelter for the cattle. To buy essentials, he has to walk a long way to the new market. He is getting older, and walking such distances is difficult, but he has no other choice. The river keeps destroying his home, and he keeps rebuilding. This struggle never truly ends, it only starts over again. He doesn't know how long this will continue, but for now, he fights every day just to survive.
Most families in the Char live with various kinds of hardships. The majority of the people in the Char engage in agricultural work and livestock farming. They raise cattle, goats, sheep, ducks, and chickens for their livelihood. Many take their cattle to the riverbanks, where the sandy pastures provide ample grazing grounds. The animals form groups and graze happily on the vast grassy fields. Some people go around different parts of the field to collect fresh grass for their livestock throughout the day. After the livestock has grazed all day, they are returned to their homes, traveling along the rustic paths of Bengal in the evening. Bangladesh is an agriculture-dependent country, where, in addition to livestock farming, landowners focus on agricultural work, and landless people work for wages. The Char's lands primarily grow various crops such as lentils, black-eyed peas, and corn. The sandy soil requires frequent irrigation, which is facilitated through deep tube wells. Women's lives here are quite difficult, as they not only participate in agricultural work alongside men, but also manage all the household chores. They work tirelessly, balancing both the demands of the farm and the family. It's a continuous struggle to make ends meet, but their resilience and hard work keep the community moving forward. Despite the challenges, the spirit of the people in the Char remains strong as they continue to adapt and live with the rhythm of the land and water.
She mentions that she has had to rebuild her house 8 times. She recalls that before marriage, she lived at one place, but after marriage, she moved to a new location where the house was destroyed. After that, she rebuilt another house, which also eventually got destroyed. She had a larger house at one point, but it too was lost. With each move, she created new memories and stories. She had children with each relocation, her first daughter and later another daughter. She emphasizes that every place she lived has a unique story, and every time she had to move, there was a significant event, like the birth of her children. She explains the challenges of raising a family while constantly moving. She also shares that, despite all the hardships, she continues her work. She has cattle that she tends to daily, feeding them and ensuring they drink water. She ties them up in the morning and brings them back in the evening, often when it's already dark. In addition to her livestock, she works in agriculture, planting crops like corn, although she hasn't been able to sell the harvest. She comments on the struggles of poor people in the Char areas who, despite working hard, don't have the means to build homes in the town. Reflecting on her own life, she questions what remains after 8 houses have been destroyed, but expresses a sense of acceptance and hope.
Surrounded by vast open fields, the landscape is dominated by cornfields and tall Cannes grass. There are no designated roads for movement, making travel somewhat challenging. The village is located approximately 3 kilometers from the ferry ghat. For transportation, people primarily rely on motorcycles and cargo-carrying horse carts to navigate the uneven terrain.
He collects grass from the canal every day for his cows and transports it using a horse cart. He has 9 cows, and he must go through this routine daily to ensure they have enough food. He expressed his frustration, explaining that his home has been destroyed multiple times due to river erosion. Even the place where he currently lives is at risk of being washed away. He mentioned that a dam was supposed to be built there, but it was never constructed. In his opinion, if a dam had been built instead of the bridge, they might have been saved from the constant erosion. He further stated that if the river erodes again, they will be left completely helpless. His home has already been lost to the river 5 or 6 times. Describing the pain of river erosion, he remarked that when something burns in a fire, at least some remnants remain. But when the river takes everything away, nothing is left behind. When asked about the means of transporting agricultural products and general communication, he mentioned that horse-drawn carts are primarily used. He also noted that motorcycles operate between the visible ferry terminal and the village. However, motorcycle fares are quite high.
মোটরসাইকেলে চলে আসা যায়।
Due to the high cost of motorcycle fares, most people travel on foot. To do their daily shopping, Char residents cross the remote Char and the river by boat to reach CMB Ghat or nearby markets for their necessities.
বাজার করে নিয়ে আসলেন? কিছু নিছেন? কোন জায়গা থেকে বাজার করেন?
Due to the high cost of motorcycle fares, most people travel on foot. To do their daily shopping, Char residents cross the remote Char and the river by boat to reach CMB Ghat or nearby markets for their necessities.
প্রয়োজনীয় যেগুলো লাগে সেগুলো সাপ্তাহিক বাজার করেন।
We asked him about the means of transportation for the people here. He informed us that in their daily lives, they usually travel on foot. For carrying goods to and from the market, they walk through dust and sand. If someone falls ill, they have to carry the patient on their shoulders, which is a very difficult task. Occasionally, they use horse-drawn carts for transportation. There are no other vehicles here except for horse-drawn carts, so they have to rely on them for travel. When asked what they do for a living, he said they cultivate agricultural products such as corn and mustard, and they also raise cows and goats. When we inquired whether the land they cultivate is their own or leased, he replied that some of the land is their own, some is leased, and some is sharecropped.
Most of the time, the people of this remote Char, riverine island, carry their market goods on their heads and traverse this uneven, muddy path on foot.
Currently, I am not doing anything related to studies. In this area, transportation is a major issue. I cannot cross the river to go anywhere, nor can I study here. If you consider establishing a school or a madrasa, then perhaps our children could receive a proper education. Otherwise, I don't think it's possible due to the transportation problems. I have a daughter and a son. My daughter used to have the opportunity to study when we lived in the previous place, but after moving here it became difficult. I can't just stop her education now. I am making great efforts to ensure she continues her studies. Currently, she is staying at someone else's house to study. It's very challenging, but I am determined to educate her. If a school or madrasa were established here, our children could receive a proper education and become well educated. That's what I believe.
Despite their hardships, they are willing to make any sacrifice for their children's future. However, due to the absence of any school or madrasa in the area, children are deprived of education. Some families, despite their financial difficulties, try to send their children to distant schools and madrasas in an effort to provide them with an education.
We asked him, there are no vehicles in this remote area, so how do you travel when someone falls sick?
তো সেইখানে আসলে এখানে তো ঘোড়ার গাড়িও কম একজন মানুষ যদি অসুস্থ হয় তাহলে সেই ক্ষেত্রে আপনাদের কিভাবে নিয়ে যান তাকে হসপিটালে
He told us that he had been ill for a long time and could only visit a doctor once every 15 to 20 days or even after a month. Traveling is extremely difficult because the roads are rough, muddy, and almost inaccessible, making it a major challenge for the sick and elderly. In case of an emergency, they have no choice but to carry the patient on their shoulders, sometimes walking for miles, to reach medical help.
In this remote and inaccessible Char, There is no hospital or healthcare center. Patients must be taken to the city for treatment, which is both time-consuming and expensive. In case of illness, people have to rely on local medicine sellers or traditional healers. Often, due to a lack of proper treatment, patients' conditions worsen, sometimes leading to severe consequences. The people of this Char, who are already victims of river erosion, face the greatest challenges during the monsoon. When the river water rises, many lose their homes and become trapped by the floodwaters, making survival even more difficult. Additionally, frequent storms, heavy rains, and the harsh winter add to their suffering. Hearing the stories of their daily struggles, it seems as if they are constantly fighting against nature. Yet, despite all the hardships, they continue to survive with resilience, facing every challenge with a smile.
She greeted us with a gentle smile when we asked about her well-being. She said she was doing fine, though her eyes carried a hint of loneliness. She told us that this was not her own house, but her in-laws' home, where she had been living for many years. Her original home was in Teltala, but now someone else lived there. The people from that house had not yet arrived. She has 2 sons. One of them has built a house here, and the other also stays nearby.
আপনি এখানে আছেন কতদিন?
She has been living in this Char for a few months now. Though she couldn't recall the exact time, when asked if she liked living in the Char, she sighed and said it was not very enjoyable. She often felt lonely as there was no one to talk to. Her grandchildren did not visit her. One of her daughters was married and had a son, while another daughter lived abroad. When we inquired about her son-in-law, she simply said, "He does whatever he wants." Her response carried a sense of detachment, as if she had accepted life as it came. Despite everything, she assured us that she was in good health. But her words and expressions painted the picture of a life filled with solitude and quiet endurance.
Through hard work and perseverance, they keep their lives moving forward.
She mentioned that the fuel she was gathering would be used for cooking in her new home. When asked where she had lived before, she shared that she had been living at Kabarpur in Dhaka district. On being asked if the river caused her to move, she explained that the river had washed away her land. Initially, only a small part of it was eroded, but it got worse over time. She pointed to a tree in the distance and said her land once extended that far, but now it was all gone. When asked how long she had lived there before the land was washed away, she said she had lived there for 20 years. She was asked if moving had been difficult, and she replied that while it was tough, life went on. Every time her house was destroyed, she had to start again in a new place. When asked how many times she had been displaced, she said she moved from Kabarpur to Charang, then to Kalakali, and back to Kabarpur Char. Looking back, she explained that life had been different when her parents were alive. Her father used to farm, and they ate whatever they could. After her parents and older siblings passed away, survival became harder, and the river eventually took everything.
আপনারা এখানে যারা আছেন সবাই কি ডিগ্রি চরে ছিলেন? সবাই ছিলেন ডিগ্রি চরে। ডিগ্রি চর থেকে এখানে এসেছেন।
We had all previously lived in Degree Char. However, our reasons for coming here were different. Some families arrive from Sri Lanka after losing their homes to river erosion, while others, like us, migrated from Char, searching for a new place to settle. We were not permanent residents here, but had leased the land. We had to pay 2,000 taka per year for 5 kathas of land. Some had taken 10 kathas, depending on their needs. Our primary occupations were raising cows, goats, ducks, and chickens. However, farming was not an option for us, as our previous agricultural land had been swallowed by the river. During the monsoon season, our struggles intensified. The entire area gets flooded, making life extremely difficult. To survive, we elevate our homes using bamboo poles to prevent them from being submerged. Last time, the entire area was underwater. We were uncertain about what would happen this year, but we feared that if the water level rose too high, our homes might once again be lost to the flood.
We have been building our home in this place for almost 2 years now. It hasn't been a full 2 years yet, but it will be soon. Before this, we used to live on Char, on both sides of the CNB Ghat. However, those areas have been swallowed by the river, forcing us to seek new shelter here. Currently, we are living here on leased land. However, we do not have any land of our own for farming. We cultivate on others' land using the sharecropping system, and we also engage in small-scale farming and agricultural work. We have had to change locations so many times that it's impossible to keep count anymore. Since my birth, I have been a victim of river erosion at least 25 times. Each time, we lost our homes and had to start anew in a different place. Life is truly very difficult. This cycle of destruction and rebuilding, making homes, and moving from one place to another, it's all extremely exhausting, both physically and mentally. We have never received much support. Whenever our homes were destroyed, we gathered whatever was left and somehow managed to find a place to take shelter. Without any help, we tried to stand on our own feet again through our own efforts and hard work. This is how life goes on, struggling every day, but we do not know where this battle will end.
Char residents have a primary expectation for a permanent residence, where they can live securely for the long term. One of their most urgent needs is safe drinking water, as they wish to live healthily and have access to clean and safe water for daily use. They also hope for better healthcare services, so that in case of any illness or emergency, they can receive timely medical assistance. Education is another significant desire, as the children in these areas are deprived of proper schooling, and the residents are eager to provide their children with the opportunity to receive an education, as they believe that education is the key to a brighter future. Additionally, they seek improvements in transportation infrastructure to ensure that they can easily travel to cities or nearby areas for work. Education, or health-related needs. These developments are essential to improving the quality of life in the region, making it more sustainable and accessible. Furthermore, the residents express a strong wish for government intervention and support from various aid organizations. They hope that these agencies will extend a helping hand, enabling them to improve their standard of living. Dear friends, signing off for today. But don't worry, we'll be back soon with another exciting video, where we will dive into the breathtaking beauty, rich culture, and diverse landscapes of rural Bengal. From serene rivers to lush green fields, from traditional village life to mesmerizing sunsets, we'll explore it all. Until then, stay happy, stay healthy,